When you open Minecraft Education Edition, you will click play to go ahead and create a world. There's some different options. You can view the worlds that you've already created. You can view the library, which contains some worlds that are pre-created. You can go down and click on create new, which is what we're going to do. And we're going to go to new for a new randomly generated world, or templates if you want to open up and see what they have, some pre-created worlds that might tie into some lesson plans. I'm going to go ahead and click on new. And then you're going to have your game settings. You can type in the name of your world. There are several default game modes. There's survival, which survival mode means that you have to gather resources, survive, like cut down trees and build shelters, things like that, and find food. Creative mode, you have infinite inventory, so you have unlimited resources, and typically you're going to be building things in this mode, and you have the ability to fly as well. You don't take any damage or have any issues with health or hunger. When you look at the difficulty modes, peaceful means that only peaceful mobs will come out and you don't have any issues with the health and hunger if you're in survival mode. If you have easy, normal, or hard, you're going to have mobs that come out at night if you're in survival mode, and that will attack you and things like that. So peaceful setting is usually what I like to have, because even if it's on creative mode, then all I will have are animals and things, so the peaceful mobs. Permission level for students, the default is member, and typically that's what you're going to have. But if you look, there's visitor and operator mode, and you can read those to see which one you want. But typically, if somebody else goes in, you're going to want them in member. Your other world types there's flat, infinite, and old. A flat world will give you a flat world that's just grass and it's all one layer, one level. And an infinite world gives you an infinite world that will build, and it's just a randomly generated world. So the topography and the geography of the world is randomly generated as players and characters move around the world. So this will eventually, if you move around a lot, will create a large file. The less the characters move around and the less that is built, the smaller the file will be. But the files can get quite large if you're building a large world. The old world type it's kind of similar to Infinite. It's an older version, but it has a limitation in the amount that is generated, unlike Infinite. The seed code is what would go here in this text box underneath seed. And that would be if you had a code that you wanted a specific world to be generated, that would be where you put world options. You can click on show coordinates, and that turns on your XYZ coordinates, which, especially when you're creating a world for a lesson and you're building things in different spots, sometimes it's really good to have those coordinates written down where you put different objects in the world or different shelters, things like that. Cheats. You have activates cheats on. This allows you to, and other characters, to use / commands, which typically always have this on. It's not like cheating. Code builder. Sometimes I turn this off, but you can leave it on. It's just if they wanted to code and have the coding option in the world, that's what that is for. Sometimes the only reason you might turn it off is sometimes you have students will pull in agents and then they don't know what to do with them. So sometimes it's nice just to turn it off and then you don't have to deal with that. Always day means that it's always day. So if you have that turned on, then it's kind of nice, especially if you're using it in creative mode and students are building, then it doesn't turn to night. It's a little hard to build and things when it gets dark. If show classroom settings. If you click on that, that's going to give you some more options. There's perfect weather. Perfect weather means it's not going to rain or snow. Allow mobs. If you turn that off, then you won't be able to get any mobs, even peaceful mobs like animals, but sometimes you want to have that turned off. Allow destructive items. It's nice to have that turned off sometimes because then students don't destroy their world on accident or on purpose. The just one thing about destructive items is if you turn that off, like items like fire can't be created. So you might need those, or students might need those for their world, what they're building. If they're building like campfires and things like that. Player damage. Sometimes it's nice to have that turned off when you are in survival mode, if that's the type of world you have. Immutable world. This is where you will not be allowed, it won't make changes to the world. And so sometimes it's nice to have that once you build your world, it's nice to turn that one on. And so that other people can come in and like view and look around your world, but they can't build or destroy anything on that world. And we'll talk a little bit later in the allow and deny blocks about why you might possibly use immutable world. Player versus player damage. Sometimes it's nice to turn that off when you're in survival mode, then they can't harm each other. If you're in creative mode, that doesn't matter. Where it says host, that's if you're wanting to share it with either students or students who are wanting to share it with each other. And then you can get the code to share so students can join the world. But you can go ahead and hit play to go enter into your world and explore around and build.